Okay, welcome back. So now that we have covered some of the basic concepts, actually not basic, some of the needed advanced concepts in object-oriented programming, we'll proceed to the next part where we will now be developing graphical user interfaces, connecting our Java application to databases, and then we will be interacting with the database. So I will be recording a series of videos that will cover all of these concepts. Today we will start with the first part, which is the back end. So we will be creating a database. We will be creating some tables in that database, and then we'll move to NetBeans and we'll configure our application so that it's enabled or we enable actually the database connectivity. Before we start that, and for the simplicity of the setup, I would like to create a new NetBeans application, and this application I will name it Medical Staff App. So this will be our application. Why is that? Simply because I would like to save the database in the same location to avoid any complexities in configuring the path at a later stage. So for the time being, this is my NetBeans application. Now I'll move to the first part of the activity, which is configuring the database. In order to do that, we will be working on a very light database management system. I'll be posting the link for that database management system in the description of the video. I will just show you here what are the tools needed for this activity. So basically NetBeans, obviously, and then in addition to that, we will be using SQLLite as our database management system. In addition to that, we will be downloading the JDBC driver. I will talk about this in more details in the next video. And this JDBC driver can be found on this link. All right, so let's start by you will be downloading this SQLite browser. All right, so after you download the DB browser, then you will end up with something like this. We will start by creating a new database, and this database, we will call it medical staff DB. Ideally, it's not mandatory, but it's better if you store your database in the same location as your NetBeans project. So that's why I started by creating the NetBeans app. Now I will be browsing to that. This is the app we just created, and now I have the database ready. So this is my DB, medical staff DB. Once done with creating the database, we'll create some tables. We'll keep it simple. I will only add two tables to this database, one with a relationship between these two tables. So basically a primary foreign key relationship. What we will need here is one department table, and under this department we'll have multiple doctors. So this will be the first table we create. This is the department table. Then you can add fields to that table. The first one we need is the ID. This would be a text, and then this is the primary key for the table. The second one would be the name for that department. Again, it's a text. You can add here the constraints that you want. So for example, I don't want to allow the user to keep this blank. So we'll activate the not null constraint on this field. And the last one that we'll need is the building. Again, this is a text, sorry, this is a text. Once you are done, you can also add here more checks if you want more constraints. So for example, here later on we will be working on a foreign key. This will be in the next table. You can also configure some constraints. So for example, here you can add a constraint on a primary key. You can configure what type of constraint you want on that primary key. So for example, primary, unique, foreign, or check. This is exactly what we did in the previous window. Once you are done, click on OK. So as you can see, we have one table ready here in our database. We'll create another table, and this table now will be the doctor table. Oops. Again, we'll be doing the same. For the doctor table, we will need the, let's say, the license number, and this will be a text. This will be the primary key for the doctor. We'll add a full name. Again, it's a text, not null. We will add a specialty for that doctor. This is a text, and let's keep it without any constraint. And finally, we want to link it to the department table. So this will be the department ID. This will be a text. All right. So now to configure the foreign key, you can always write the code here, of course, but as you can see, once we configure the database, we can see that the script is automatically generated. Ideally, what you will be doing is you need to copy this and save it in a separate file, so that in the future, in case you need to replicate or create the database again, you will have the script ready instead of redoing all these steps. So for the foreign key for this particular interface, you need to double click on this field next to the foreign key for this particular field, which is department ID, and we need to pick the department because this is referencing department, and here we'll pick the column we're referencing in that department table. So now we have the foreign key relationship created. What you can also add here is some additional constraints like on update, delete, or on delete cascade. On update or on delete cascades. Why is that? So for example, if I delete a department, what will happen to the doctors under that department? If I update a department, what would happen to the doctors under that department? So here it's a good practice to add on update or on delete cascade. We can check that at a later stage. Once you are done, hit enter, and this will create the table. Click on OK. And as you can see, we have now both tables available. All right, so what we can do now is we can populate some data in these tables. And this will be the last thing we'll do in this video before we move to the next one, which is back to NetBeans. So I have prepared some script for the SQL script, sorry, for populating some data into the tables. I'll quickly grab that and paste it here so we don't waste time adding data to this to these two tables. However, I will be showing you how to do that in the interface. So let me first grab the text. So this is why I told you it's better to copy the script for creating the tables, because maybe in the future you would like to replicate the database. So what you will be doing is going to this, is execute SQL, paste your script here, and then run it, execute it. Basically, this will save time. So these are the data that I would like to populate. So we start by creating some departments as per the specifications of the table, and then we'll move to the let me do it one at a time. Then we'll move to the doctor. Okay, so we can click here on execute. So as you can see, execute finished without any errors. Let me go back to browse data, and as you can see in department, I have the departments added. You can swap between both. So basically you can do it also here in the interface. You click on insert a new record, then you add the details for that record, and you do it one at a time. Or if you already have the script, like I do now, then you can simply execute the script. So again, I will run this. So execution finished without any errors. Actually, I do have an error. I think it's a typing mistake. Let me go back, and so that's a good thing. Now, let's say I think I have a typo in the specialty in the doctor table, hence the insert failed. So what can I do in this case? It's very simple. Go back to database structure, and then go to that table that you would like to modify. So I would like to change the definition for the doctor table. Oops. We'll right click on that. You can browse data, so you will be able to add, or you can modify. This is what we want to do. So here I think I have an extra I, so I will update here. So that's specialty, and click on OK. I think if we go back now to the SQL, we'll be able to execute. Let's see if it will work or no. So let's go back to the database. If we refresh, it did not work. Let's see what is the problem now. Let me first delete this and then go back to database. Just double check that everything is okay. Modify, save. Oh, strange, it didn't update specialty. And then click on OK. Let me see, did it update? That is very strange. Why I'm not able to update? Maybe I need to... Okay, let's try again. Modify. Okay, so I will remove it. Yes. And then we'll add a new one. Special. This will be a text, and I want it not null. Click on OK. All right. Then now we need to update. Let's run the code again. Let's see now. All right, so execution finished without any errors. We can go back to browse data. We'll see that we have the doctors here. All right, so with this, we created a simple database. We populated some data into the tables of that database. I'll be seeing you in next video where we start configuring the NetBeans to connect to this database. See you in the next video.